The movie begins with a university professor named Dr. Watts, who's preparing her tools before entering her lecture. One of her colleagues is filming her and suggests that she act in the film he's working on, but she declines, saying she's not cut out for acting. At that moment, she gets a call from the university informing her that the lecture's location has changed, and they provide her with the new place. Dr. Watts heads to the new location, only to find it completely empty, with no students around. She starts calling out, and when she doesn't hear any response, she becomes anxious, warning them that if this is some kind of prank, they'll be punished. But still, there's no answer, and her anxiety grows into fear. Suddenly, she realizes someone is standing behind her, holding a camera. When she sees him, she relaxes slightly, recognizing him. She asks why he's filming her, but he suddenly pulls out a knife and stabs her. Dr. Watts screams and tries to escape, crawling away, but he follows her, filming her with the camera until she eventually dies. Several hours later, the students are shown waiting in the lecture hall for Dr. Watts to arrive. The assistant tells them that they haven't been able to reach her, so the lecture is cancelled. Naturally, the students are thrilled and rush out of the hall. Harlow goes to talk with her friend Maddie, asking if she's joining them on their forest trip, planned for the weekend break. Maddie seems down and says she doesn't feel like going anywhere, but Harlow doesn't take no for an answer. She brings her along to meet Catherine and Croge. Harlow suggests Maddie join their acting crew for the film they're planning to shoot in the forest. Catherine, who's directing, agrees to add Maddie, although Maddie still seems hesitant. Harlow advises Maddie that getting out would help her move on from her recent breakup with her boyfriend, Noah, but Maddie remains doubtful. Harlow then goes to ask their friend Lando if he'd drive them since he has a car, and he agrees. Meanwhile, Maddie's other friend, Cam, asks her if she joined the acting crew, and she tells him she's still unsure. Cam, who plays the film's lead, a serial killer in a horror crime story, explains the plot, but she doesn't seem interested, leaving him disappointed despite his obvious crush on her. The team starts preparing the equipment and sets off for the forest. At the last moment, Maddie decides to go with them, telling Harlow she was right about needing to get out. Maddie, noticing her friend's crush on Lando, lets her ride with him, then heads to ride with Croge and Catherine. But she's surprised to find Noah and his new girlfriend Kayla in the same car. The team divides into 3 cars, one with Croge, Catherine, Maddie, Noah, and Kayla, another with Lando, Cam, Harlow, and Abigail, who boasts about her accomplishments in film, and a third car with their senior classmate Jacob, who doesn't seem interested in film like the rest. The team eventually gets tired from the long ride and stops to rest, stepping out of the cars and heading toward the forest. At that moment, Catherine sees a scarecrow in the forest and is fascinated by its mask, thinking it will add more horror to the film, so she takes it. Jacob scoffs at her, saying it looks ordinary and won't add anything to the film. While she's in the forest, she encounters a woman standing behind her who angrily asks why she's there. Abigail is shocked to see the woman holding a weapon, so she runs from the forest, screaming, and is chased by the armed woman. The woman eventually tells her she's a victim of a love betrayal, points at Noah, and warns them that they're all going to die, seeing blood everywhere. She advises them to go back, but Croy thinks she's crazy and asks the team to move quickly and continue their trip. After a while, they arrive at a house in the middle of the forest belonging to Croy's family. They realize there's no cell signal, and Noah tries to call Maddie, but Kayla arrives, interrupts him, and takes him to their room. As soon as they enter, they're shocked to find an old man watching them. Kayla screams, and when Noah scolds the man and tries to make him leave, he introduces himself as the housekeeper, Vac. Croy asks Vac to go back to his own place, as they'll be staying at the house for a few days. Before leaving, Vac warns them that his daughter lives on the other side of the river, leaving everyone feeling uneasy with his strange behavior. Filming begins, but Catherine realizes a knife is missing. With no backup props, she removes Maddie from her role in the movie and assigns her to help with equipment instead. She asks Maddie to find the knife or get a real one if she can't. Frustrated, Maddie heads to the storage room, feeling disappointed since she wanted to act. While searching, she feels someone watching her and is startled when she finds Noah standing behind her. He confesses he still loves her and regrets leaving, but Maddie doesn't believe him, slaps him, and leaves. Meanwhile, someone is watching Noah as he walks away. Suddenly, an attacker assaults Noah, beating him repeatedly. Noah can't defend himself and is killed, with the killer filming the entire scene. Later that night, the team gathers, and Maddie notices a figure lurking in the trees, watching them. They think it's suspicious, and Jacob convinces them to go into the forest to investigate. Suddenly, a masked person with a terrifying face appears in front of Jacob, who is horrified and runs. The team realizes it was Catherine playing a prank on Jacob to scare him, especially since he always made fun of her films. After a while, they set up for the next scene, but Catherine discovers her scary mask is missing. Around this time, Kayla shows up asking about Maddie, sure that she's with Noah. Harlow defends her friend, saying Maddie isn't interested in Noah anymore. Kayla finds Maddie and asks about Noah, pretending she's trying to get back with him, then reveals that Noah never loved her and had told her that himself a month after they broke up. Shocked, Maddie realizes that all their friends knew the truth but kept it from her to avoid hurting her further. Embarrassed and hurt, she walks away from them, shaken by what she just learned. Maddie goes to sit alone away from everyone, and Kem joins her. She asks him to leave her alone, but Kem comforts her, telling her that Noah didn't deserve her. He then admits he's had a crush on her, and Maddie is surprised to find out how much he knows about her, realizing he's always cared for her even though she hadn't noticed him before. Meanwhile, Catherine is in the woods looking for the lost mask. She spots someone in front of her wearing the mask and approaching her. Thinking it's one of the team members, she orders him to stop and remove the mask, as he's starting to scare her. She's shocked when he doesn't respond and just keeps coming closer, recording her with a camera. He reaches her and stabs her with a knife until she dies, then leaves her body in the woods and heads to the cabin, where he finds two actors in their room. He attacks them and kills them in the most brutal way while filming each kill. At the same time, Catherine gathers the rest of the crew to discuss the movie, except for Lando and Harlow, who were together in the woods. Suddenly, Harlow appears and is killed right in front of them. She screams and runs for her life, reaching the cabin, shaking, and telling everyone that Lando has been killed. The others think she's acting, but she insists she's telling the truth, so she takes them to the woods to see for themselves. However, they're shocked to find no trace of Lando, making them doubt her story. At that moment, Kem appears from among the trees in the woods, and they ask if he's seen Lando. He says he hasn't but mentions that he found the bodies of two actors in the cabin. They all head there and are horrified by what they find. Jacob starts to suspect Cam and argues with him, as he's the only one who wasn't with the group. They decide to leave quickly, but Kayla insists that she's not leaving without Noah. Maddie volunteers to go with her to look for him. The team splits into two groups. Kayla, Maddie, Jacob, and Kem go looking for Noah, while the others head to the vehicles to escape. They're shocked to find that all the cars are broken down and won't start. Meanwhile, Maddie and Kayla reach the shed, where they last saw Noah. The four of them split up to search around the area. Jacob goes into the shed, and suddenly, the killer appears and attacks him from behind. Jacob dodges the blow, taking the stab in his arm, and fights back. Unfortunately, the killer is stronger and manages to overpower him, ultimately killing him. Maddie and Kayla enter, and find Jacob fighting for his life. Before he dies, he points to warn them about the killer behind them. They manage to spot the killer before he attacks, and Kem arrives to protect them. Although the killer injures Cam's hand, he gets intimidated and runs away. The team has no choice but to return to the cabin, but they've now lost Jacob. Maddie suggests a solution, going to Fac's place, as his house isn't far, and he might have a working phone and better reception since he doesn't live deep in the woods. They could contact the police and take his car to escape. They agree to go with her. At the same time, the killer has already reached Fac's house, killed him, and left behind his laptop containing footage of all the murders he recorded. In the cabin, Harlow, Kayla, and another actress from the film crew remain. Tensions rise, and Harlow argues with the actress, who is too focused on herself, and keeps talking about how the world would lose something important if she were to die. Kayla tries to step in to separate them but fails. Because of their loud voices, they don't hear Catherine calling for help after the killer reached her and strangled her with a plastic bag. The killer comes out to confront them, and as soon as they see him, they quickly run out of the house. Harlow grabs a knife and stabs him in the back, but he bears the pain and chases after her until he catches her and kills her, along with the actress. Maddie, however, is the only lucky one, as she manages to escape and hide before the killer finds her and shares the same fate as her friends. At this moment, at the killer's house, they discover he's been murdered and find a laptop with recordings of each murder the killer committed. Maddie takes the laptop with her, and they head to Vac's car, but before they arrive, the killer has already killed him. Maddie tries to open the car door quickly, hoping they can escape before the killer reaches them, but he arrives faster and kills him. Maddie quickly flees with the car and returns to the cabin, calling out for her friends, but no one responds. Kayla reaches her just in time, telling her she's still alive, but suddenly, the killer appears from behind her and begins to choke her. Kayla fights back, managing to pull off the mask from his face, and is shocked to discover his identity. At this moment, Maddie sneaks up behind the killer and strikes him on the head until he falls unconscious, allowing them both to escape. Kayla remains in shock, asking Maddie why Lando killed their friends. She says that she couldn't have done it herself and thanks Maddie for helping her, apologizing for all the times she was mean to her. Maddie drives past the police station without stopping, leaving Kayla confused. Maddie tells her there's something important to do before they go to the police and takes her to the university. Since it's a holiday, the university is closed and empty, but Maddie has a spare key. They enter the auditorium, where Maddie plays videos of Lando committing the murders. At that moment, they hear his voice approaching the building, so Maddie quickly tells Kayla to hide. Terrified, Kayla does so, but Lando finds her easily. When Maddie hears her scream, she rushes toward her. Kayla tells her to run quickly, and Lando yells at Maddie, saying they didn't agree on her hitting him on the head and running away. Maddie tells him he went too far by killing Harlow and her only friend, which was against their agreement. Kayla is in complete shock when she realizes the two of them were conspiring to kill everyone. Maddie laughs, saying that she's a great actress who fooled them all, but no one appreciated her talent, so she created this horror movie so that everyone would know her. Kayla still can't believe that Lando is alive, even though she saw him die in front of her. It turns out that he used a fake knife meant for filming and convinced Vac to pretend to be the killer, as if he was acting with them in the movie. When he got the chance, he killed Vac to prevent him from confessing. Kayla is even more stunned when she learns that they were the ones who killed Dr. Witz as their first victim, as a sort of practice. Maddie tells her she knew that Noah didn't love her, and she was aware that her friends were hiding things from her, so she decided to take revenge on them all, starting with Noah. Now, it was Kayla's turn for revenge too, and she tells Lando to kill her. But Kayla is quicker, managing to escape and trigger the school alarms. In the last second, Lando catches up with her, pulling her back into the room. He tells Maddie they need to leave quickly before the police arrive, or they'll end up in huge trouble. But Maddie insists she won't leave without killing Kayla, urging Lando to kill her. Reluctantly, Lando puts on the mask and strangles Kayla until he breaks her neck, killing her in his hands. When he turns back to Maddie, he's surprised to see her there and stabs him repeatedly until he dies too, all while Maddie films the entire scene. Maddie rushes out of the university, screaming that a killer tried to murder her and killed her friend in front of her. Shortly after, the police and ambulance arrive, and two officers discuss Maddie's bravery, praising her for killing the killer and defending herself. They say she'll be really famous after what happened since she was the only one who survived among her friends. As one of the officers takes a picture of her from afar, Maddie feels a sense of inner victory for achieving her dream of becoming famous. If you like the movie, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.